SCP-061. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. Source code for SCP-061 is to be kept on standard archive quality read-only data compact disk (CD-ROM). 4 copies of CD-ROM with source code are to be stored in separate maximum security inanimate object lockers, except for the purposes of approved experimentation. SCP-061 is not to be loaded, compiled, or ran. Research proposals for SCP-061 require written approval from Site Command. Only 1 copy of the CD-ROM containing the source code of SCP-061 may be used at a time. The CD-ROM is to be returned to storage immediately after being used to load the source code for SCP-061 to a device. SCP-061 must never be loaded, compiled, or run on any device that is connected to the internet, either directly or via another device. SCP-061 must never be loaded, compiled, or run on any device which is capable of wireless connectivity, regardless of what that connectivity is in use. For purposes approved by experimentation, SCP-061 may be loaded, compiled, or ran on a LAN consisting of no more than 3 devices plus peripherals. No devices are to be disconnected from the LAN during the experimentation. Following the conclusion of the experimentation, all devices within the LAN are to be immediately reformatted. Audio output purposes for this LAN are to be contained within an observation chamber surrounded with noise-canceling vacuum insulation. In the event of a perimeter breach by hostiles during SCP-061 experimentation, all devices within the LAN are to be immediately destroyed. Description: SCP-061 is an acoustic music program being developed by SCP researchers with the intent to producing successful countermeasures to similar programs being developed by governments and individuals around the world. Inspired by research on data expunged, SCP Command saw both potential harm and ability to control brain function through other human beings. Laymen understand the music to elicit certain emotions and memories or various sounds to elicit fear or excitement by simply being heard. Governments around the world have been attempting to disband their permits for this for decades. SCP research is the first to elicit response for the higher mental activities. Parts of the brain affected by SCP-061 differ from the simulation by data expunged or by subliminal messages. Instead of acting out, parts of the brain are thought to control the subconscious acoustic frequencies produced by SCP-061, intercept conscious thoughts, and are produced to replace them. Instead of a suggestion, the human center bisects the conscious thinking mind, the frontal lobe, the motor cortex, homunculus of the brain. Baseline rhythm conceives the rest of the brain of the conscious mind as asleep and effectively stops conscious throughout the continuing of the rest of the brain. In return, the frontal lobe experiences pause, which resembles psychological effects of anesthesia. Acoustic codes developed by the SCP-061 interpreted by motor centers in the brain of the conscious instructions, and the subject typically acts accordingly. See Addendum 1. Subjects will normally have a blank facial expression where the influence of SCP-061. They are not responsive to the attempts at conversation and express no desires such as hunger, interest, or sexual advances. Though all commands are followed without any questions, the effects of the auditory control cease only if subjects no longer able to hear the program. More test subjects are being unable to remove actions are performed while under control, but few have experienced effects of watching helplessly as their body act against their will. That is such research to discover ways to counteract the effects of the auditory mind control. However, there are only 2 methods to countermeasures have proven successful. As of yet, one of the subject's hearings is impaired by the individual can no longer hear the program, either by covering or deafening the subject. 2, the program itself sends the coded instructions to the center of the brain, permanently shutting it down. Though the ear continues to hear, there are no progress in finding the proper code to reboot the hearing center of the brain. Despite the shortcomings, SCP-061 represents a promising development in the creation center autonomously phenomenon. Further research is ongoing. Addendum 1. All subjects are placed under auditory control, issued a coded auditory command, and then monitored. Subject FF4402F. Command sleep. Response: subject curled up in the fetal position on the floor and her brain began emitting alpha waves associated with sleep. Her eyes remained wide open in the typical blank, empty expression associated with the controlled subjects, but her eyes twitched rapidly in ways associated with REM sleep. Subject 4427 male. Command: run on treadmill. Response: subject mounted a treadmill and then proceeded to run. Subject not turn on the treadmill, resulting in the subject impacting on the control platform. Subject repeated this until the stop command was issued. Note: more detailed commands were advised for task-oriented commands. Subject 4427 male. Command: turn on treadmill, run on treadmill. Response: subject turned on treadmill to the maximum speed, mounted and attempted to run on it, being ejected off the conveyor belt. Subject repeatedly attempted to run on treadmill to a random speed and run on it at various outcomes. Note: more detailed commands advised task-oriented commands. Subject 4427M. Command: turn on the treadmill to jogging speed, jog on treadmill. Response: subject successfully jogged on the treadmill until stop command was issued, which resulted in subject being ejected from the conveyor belt. Note: subject should be in a safe neutral position before stop commands are issued.